Coming up next on BBC Two, it's the BradWOTO stream. But first, it's time for What's in the Lunchbox?
Nothing's working. What is that? Can you guess what's in the lunchbox today? Is it a box? Is it lunch? The worst joke, by the way. If you say lunch, you're a boring person. If you come in here and say lunch, you're a boring person. Every day someone says it. And I want you to know from now on, that's what that means. That's how I judge you. 3 slices of perfectly smoked mutton. Nanak, not a boring person. See how specific that was? A plain old aspirin. It's not a lunch box, it's a mimic. Or is it a broken USB? What's in there? What do you think it is? And can you guess it correctly this Sunday morn? You think it's a mimic? I can reveal to you now, in fact, what is inside is these 2 hands. The Minimalist 2025 calendar from Minoln. Close. No cigar for chat today, I'm afraid. Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. It's your boy coming at you fresh with a mild headache. How are you doing? How are you doing? Anyone got a mild headache? Anyone living their best life right now? Me too. Me too. Nothing's ever been better than these last couple years for me. How'd it fit there? Absolutely liquid shitting into their own underwear right now. Ollie. Wait, has this been delivered? They know how to deliver stuff exactly when I'm just starting a stream, don't they? Every time. I mean, if they would deliver it 5 minutes earlier, we could play What's in the Amazon box. To be honest. But they're like, we'll wait for him to just start the stream and then... Oh no, it hasn't been delivered. Never mind. Lying. The app is lying. Hi everyone. Woke up this morning and thought I was in Silent Hill. Literally, it was like a whiteout. There was no, I couldn't see out of my windows. And I got close to them and the fog was so thick and so white. It was so thick and so white, I couldn't see anything. It was crazy. I would love to show you a picture, but then you'll figure out where I live and I can't be having the schizophrenics show up believing I am the fucking second coming of Jesus and knocking on my door at 3 a.m. You know? The rest of you, I wouldn't care. Hey, Brad, it's me, Nanak. And I'd be like, alright, you're a doctor. Can you tell me what's wrong with me? Because I've got these heart problems and my own doctor won't help me. You know what I mean? Hey, Brad, it's me, Unchachio. Come on in. Let's draw something together. That'll be fun. Let's draw something and talk about our ailments. You know? But none of those people would show up. It would be the craziest possible people in the chat room. Hey, Brad, I would like to wear your skin. And I think it's perfectly safe. Can't trust it. Can't trust it. Can't trust any of you at this point. Way too high a concentration of mental illness in this community. Way too high. Astonishingly high. I took this thing off yesterday to clean my door. I didn't put it back. It feels barren and empty in here. What the hell? Where is it? I was looking at the little thing in the corner like, why does it look different? Looks wrong. It looks wrong, boy. You're doing something wrong. I did get a new background thing that I hung up and it wasn't the correct one. They sent me the wrong one. And I hung it up and was like, this looks like shit. It looks like shit. I'm taking it down. So I took it down. And so now we have another one coming. I bought basically an acid trip background. It's just an acid trip. I was like, you know what? I think this year is going to be acid trip.
Coming up next on
Like
BBC Two,
Like this vibe.
it's the BradWOTO stream. But first, it's time for
This vibe
What's
mixed
in the
a little bit
Lunchbox.
with depressed 14-year-old boy. You know, a little mix with depressed 14-year-old boy. I'm fucking knackered. What the fuck is happening to me? I'm so tired. Sitting down. I normally try and stand up until at least we begin playing like the game or whatever, but I am dying, apparently. Jesus. Hey, Nanak. Diagnose me with something so I can die in peace, you know? Why is this so bright now? This? Yeah. Lighting is crazy today because it's so fucking insane out the window. That is a giant pigeon. Giant pigeon. The light outside is really weird, which means because this room is just basically this wall is just 4 giant windows. I can't light anything stably. Nothing stable about this household. It's a pigeon drone, yeah, for sure. That one is absolutely a drone. No doubt about it. Melatonin dream last night. Brad accidentally said his address on stream and everyone found out you actually live in a medieval castle. I would hate that. They're cold, aren't they? You can live in them. I work in radiology. Hey, I might be coming to see you soon anyway. So you're one of those doctors that does the thing where you scan someone's chest and hide behind the bulletproof glass. It makes me laugh, like... So here's my assumption of that meme. Like my doctor... Hang on, let's see if I can find one. My doctor X-ray hiding meme. So there's loads of them, right? But essentially it's this. Doctors, don't worry, the X-ray won't harm you. Also doctors hiding behind a bulletproof frame of glass. Now my assumption of why they do this is because you get one quick x-ray, and if they stood in there all day, they would be exposed to like 80 x-rays. Is that why the doctor hides behind bulletproof glass? Or is it just way worse? Way worse. Or is it just way worse? Some of these memes are absolutely hilarious. Yes, exactly why. X-rays are bad if you get them every single day. Well, I'm not asking you, Valeria, with an IQ of at least and only maximum 4. I was asking Nanak, the actual radiologist, in the chat room. Did you think I was asking a fucking crack addict? Oh, sorry, it's just that I wasn't asking the crack addict screaming and shitting itself in the corner, Valeria. I was actually asking the doctor who has a 2-hour commute to work every day and puts TikTok on his phone for way too long and laughs at the worst ones. Sorry, must have missed it. You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot that you're a crack addict hiding in the corner screaming and screeching to itself. Christ, have you had some anxiety about an x-ray? Me? Ever or now? What are you asking me? I've never had anxiety about an x-ray, no. Now? No. Why? What brought this on? Oh, Nanak said he works in radiology. That's what. So then I thought about the x-ray memes. No, I haven't had an x-ray in a while. I did have a chest x-ray a couple years ago. And I had to do some ultrasounds the year before last. Which was fun. It's bad when you get a whole lot. All about total radiation. Seeing the hands of the first radiographers. No, and I don't want to. No, and I don't want to. Fascinating tech. I have some great ones of my hands. Looks wicked in there. X-rays. I wouldn't want to keep them. A chest X-ray is crazy. You go and fucking press yourself up against this square. I've had lots of X-rays in my mouth because I do a lot of porn. I do a lot of X-ray porn. The ones where they do the sides of your teeth. I had one of those just before I moved house. Do you remember I was like completely convinced I had an abscessed tooth, and I went into the dentist, and he was like, "Yeah, no, you're just stressed." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "First of all, what do you mean? Why you're a dentist?" And second of all, how do you know? He was like, "Oh, tell me, over the last couple of years, have you had any stress, like significant stress in your life?" And he was like, you know, like moving house, lost a job, breakup. And I was like, all of them, all of those things. And some other things. Death in the family. Death of my beloved pet, my son. This, I had to go to a fucking radiologist about a cancer scare. I had to go to get an ultrasound for cancer as well. And he was like, "Yeah, anything else?" And I was like, "Yeah, this thing that I don't talk about on stream, and this thing that I don't talk about on stream as well." And he went, "Yeah, any one of those would be enough. You've had 7? Since when?" And I was like, "Last 4 years." And he went, "That's it." And I was like, what are you talking about? It feels like my fucking tooth is going to fucking pop. It was so much pain, like shooting at my face. He was like, yeah, it's the muscles here on the side of your cheek. And he said, get 2 fingers and press them to your cheek here. And I said, okay. So I got 2 fingers. And he went, you clench your jaw a little, just like close your teeth and clench your jaw. And I went, yeah, okay. And he went, you feel those muscles? I went, yeah. He went, they're not supposed to feel like that. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I've checked your teeth. I've done an x-ray. It's the muscles in your face running all the way up here. They run all the way up this part of your face. They're going down here. And it's called something. And you have to do, it's like my brain wants to say metatarsal, but it's not. And you have to do PMJ muscle things. And I was just clenching my jaw. I was clenching my jaw for 4 years. Just stressed out of my mind. Didn't know I was doing it. You're supposed to feel them, but they're not meant to be like diamond. They're not meant to be like rock solid. Mine are, I've actually calmed it down. I spent the last 6 months stressed out of my mind, but I still managed to keep the muscle relaxation in my face down. So yeah, I found out I was like clenching my jaw like an astonishing amount, but I'm not aware that I'm doing it, right? I'm just sitting here typing away, clenching my jaw, going to bed at night, sleeping, clenching my jaw. And so he was like, yeah, you can get like jaw guards, or you can just do these muscle relaxation things. He was like, even just being aware of it now, which is honestly my main thing. It wasn't bruxism. Bruxism is when you do this. It was just pure jaw clenching. I think you can get like a bruxism guard. It's the same thing, but you want to get a thing in your mouth when you sleep, like a tooth guard, because then it spreads out the stress is spread over the mouth guard instead of like directly down onto your teeth or something like that. So anyway, yeah, I got one of those mouth guards and I put it in for a week. But since then, honestly, the main thing that has stopped me from having that come back is just being aware of it. So now when I will sit there and I will just notice that I'm doing it. I've never noticed it before, but because I'm aware of it now, I go, stop. And I just relax my face. And it hasn't come back. It's sort of it's tried to come back a couple of times, and I'm like, it's because I'm incredibly stressed this week. But yeah, the other thing you can do is just like you can look them up, but there's like massages where you massage this part of your face or run your fingers up your face and stuff. Those were good for the immediate week afterwards. Yeah, headaches. I was like dying, dude. I thought I had an abscessed tooth, and it was just a week before I had to move house is the reason. I get headaches all the time from several different things, and that was causing me one of them. Nightmare. It felt the exact same as when I had an abscessed tooth. That's how bad it was. It was crazy. I was convinced that I'd cracked a tooth. I looked in my tooth, and one of my teeth at the back of my mouth was black. And I freaked out and was like, oh, there it is. And I went in and he was like, that's been there since you were 8. That's an old filling. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know that. Of course I know that. But I went crazy. I was a crazy person. You know, a crazy person walked into that fucking office and a perfectly sane person walked out. It must have been crazy for him to watch. It happens a lot. Because by the time I get an appointment with a professional of some kind, I'm at maximum crazy. And I stumble into there like, and then they've got fucking cameras in the birds, man. I'm telling you, you don't understand. And water, that's not water. Boats have legs. And at the end, they're like, no, this is, okay, I'm a scientist and you can trust me more than crazy in your brain. It's this, and this, and this. And I go, that makes complete sense. Thank you so much, doctor. I appreciate your time, and I'm sorry that I came in here real hot. I close my briefcase and walk out, adjust my tie. I went in there dressed in a bin bag. you know, pissing myself, and I walk out and I'm in a full suit and tie with a briefcase. Thank you very much. For real, that is what happens. It must be nuts for them. Because I go in there like, and I think I'm dying, and I think I'm gonna be dead in a week, and no one loves me. And they're like, okay. I'm not dying. I'm sure someone loves you. And I'm like, okay, no one loves me, but I'm not dying? All right, I don't care then. I'm gonna go home and watch some anime. He's crazy. He's crazy. Oh my god, Brad seems so cool. I would love to marry him. He always says that he's so normal. So he says he's crazy, but he seems so normal. And he's got his life together. And he understands me. And he understands me. And he would be... And he can cook now. And he has his own money. He has a bank account. And he owns 2 companies, technically. He's like so put together and cool and funny. And he has a huge cock. Man, he seems like the best, most great guy. But in reality. It's mental illness. Crazy.
Ooh, it's mental illness.
Full crazy.
Yes,
Stay the fuck away.
You see,
A walking nuclear sign. A sign that says nuclear radiation, do not enter, do not go past this point. Fully insane person. Yeah? So, shut up. With laser focused strength and mental strength it takes for me to put on the BradWOTO mask for a couple hours a day. Just appear vaguely normal. Or at least appear normal, but talk about the fact that you just spent the last 24 hours fucking going crazy in like a jovial and comedic way that is relatable, but doesn't actually reflect the fact that you were lying on your bathroom floor naked, crying, covered in your own feces just 35 minutes ago. The strength it takes. Spider-Man underneath the rubble. He's crazy. He's a crazy person. Have you ever had to drink the barium sulfate before a CT scan? No, I'm dreading it. Don't bring any. No more medical talk, please. Thank you. I was only speaking to Nanak. If anyone brings up any more medical talk in this chat room today, death. Death to them all. Death to them all.
How dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. And you too, Mrs. Spears. Death to all of them. How dare you?
Medical talk. Normal people have severe mental issues, illness. I equal parts do not stop thinking about and talking about medical issues, and also never, ever, ever want to talk about them. Never. Can you guess what song it is? First one to guess wins. Can you guess what song it is? The first one to guess wins. Not Spider-Man. It's not 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20. It's not Do You Want to Live Forever. Will 85k. Give that man a sub. It took all of you way too long. I'm very disappointed in you. Brad Sevens in the chat, please. I'm very disappointed in a lot of you. Considering how many times I have played this. Not just the game, but the song. How often I reference it and talk about it. I don't think a stream goes by. It's Metal Gear Solid 2 specifically. I would like some points as well. Get the fuck out of here, Dabiru, you failure. You failed me for the last time. You failed me for the last time. Will 85k wins? I could tell, Will. I could tell you were like, fuck, no one's getting it. Fine, I win. You got it straight away. What did he win? He's GMing today. He's GMing today's episode of D&D. These type of keyboards, look at her leg and her hands going. She's got 2 legs doing stuff and 2 hands doing stuff, and I don't... It's like magic to me because I have no idea how to play a keyboard. Like magic. It's like watching someone... It's the closest you can get to magic is just watching someone do something that you cannot do at all, but it's something that you are impressed by, you know? It's the closest we'll feel to legit magic. But what about magic? I hate magic. I hope at the end of this she pulls that gun off the thing and just fucking kills someone. Nayanar, thank you for gifting us up to Will. He deserves it. You wasted an hour of work earning that $5. I love how all of you are explaining it to me, but that wasn't what I was asking. I love the neurodivergent need to explain to me something when I go, I don't know how any of this works. And you hear, will someone explain to me how this works? But what the fact is, even if you explained it to me, I still wouldn't understand it. I'm 38 years old. If I don't know how a keyboard works by now, I'm never going to learn. It's just magic to me, and it will always be. I have no need to... I don't need to learn. I'm not explaining. I'm geeking out on how fucking cool it is. Alright? I'll allow it. Wonder how much it costs? She's like a professional YouTuber, so I'm guessing a lot, right? Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. Incredible work. 826. That's how she does the like really cool Final Fantasy one that we watched ages ago, which is why I think that came up after I watched it. The hand's doing something completely different now. I still have no idea what that pedal's doing. I know some of you can hear it, I don't. I'm too stupid. The right hand is the guitar. That's the bass. The choir is the left hand. No, but now the right hand is the choir. Dude, imagine you wake up tomorrow and you can do that. How much would your life change? You wake up tomorrow and you can do that, how much would your life change? Mine would probably change quite a lot. Because I think I would start... I'm already like set up to immediately just be like, guys, check this out. and I just bring in a keyboard. I'd buy a keyboard on Amazon next day delivery, and now I'm doing streams of it. You know what I mean? It would unlock a whole fucking level of creation and entertainment that I could utilize and monetize. A feet cam? You don't want a feet cam from me. My feet are fucking ragged. I decimated both of my toes in the same year, within like a month of each other. It was April of 2023, I think. I like fucked both my toes up, and my toenails got absolutely annihilated, and neither of them have healed properly. It's really weird. Toenails just don't grow back normal. The left one looks kind of normal now, but a bit zombified, and the right one is just absolutely annihilated. Like, I don't even understand what's happening with it. It's so confusing to look at. And no, I won't go to a doctor about it. I've broken my pinky toe so many times. I think I've broken all of my toes throughout my life. Brad, what toe? Sorry, I'm just trying to cast my 4th cast member for my upcoming table story show. Who do you think it is? It's Matthew Mercer. It's close. Pretty close. It's pretty damn close. How do I do this? I'm so bad at Discord. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely insane how bad I am at navigating Discord. Sorry. You know when you are like, this is important, but I'm streaming, but if I don't fucking do this right now, it's just going to be in the back of my brain for the whole thing. It's Gary. Oh, it would be so great. It would be. What would be so great for Gary is that there would always be a session. These games wouldn't get cancelled every single fucking week. There's like I have a pretty low cancellation rate, I think, for shows. I don't know if anyone has those stats. I think we missed maybe one session of Cura, probably more. Which is incredibly impressive considering I was fully dying for a good portion of last year. Is there a campaign where you are a player? There are many campaigns where I'm a player. Many campaigns where I'm a player. Good luck. You will need to consult the Table Story wiki. Table Story is an amazing fucking wiki, dude. It is. It is crashing my computer. I take it back. I take it back. Crashed everything. What is happening? What has happened here? Oh, good God. Here we go. Table Story wiki. That's not what I wanted to click. The unofficial Table Story wiki, which I use all the time to remind myself of stuff in my own campaigns. The lore keepers that run the Table Story wiki are better at keeping my own lore than I am. And here's all the shows. And so you can just go in and you can find my name, BradWOTO, and look at all of the things that I've ever run. Mind Harvest 2015, DM producer, not a Table Story show. All the way down to, I guess you could look for one where I'm a player. Oh no, these are just shows. Player. Pandemonium. Stygian Gate. The Guardian's Promise. Faint Dawn, that was great. Kingmakers. I could have been better. Could have been better on Kingmakers. Erufir the Apprentice. Crew member. The Table Story wiki is so good. I applied to join a local D&D game the other night. Asked about my experience as a player, almost none. But you're like, but as a DM, 25 years of experience. Hi Cal, thank you for the 78-month resub. It has been a while since you were a player. Yeah, well, I was meant to be a main character. That's one of the reasons. But I couldn't do that mainly because we were doing non-canon. I ran out of time. Scheduling conflict. What was the last thing I played in? I have no idea. Kyork is listed as Ratch's girlfriend in the wiki. I hope that's true. Was it really Kingmakers? Fuck, man. That's how long it's been since I've played something. No, Spellwind lasted longer than Kingmakers. Kingmakers started after Spellwind, but Spellwind finished after Kingmakers. Maybe it was Spellwind. Spellwind's long as shit. I had to do all the podcast data for it, and it is the most chaotic show. Technically ungodly too. That's true, yeah. But as a full true player, yeah, Kingmakers or Spellwind, which is a long time ago. When did that end? Beginning of last year? Yeah. I would love to play in more stuff, but there's no time, man. We can't play in stuff, me, PB, and Whack. We have too many, we have to run 2 shows, you know? Each. Just can't be done. It's brutal. And it's not an issue of like not wanting to, and it's not an issue of there not being other options. It's just there is no time. You know, if I play in a fucking another game, that's 3 nights of my week just deleted. Which a lot of my evenings, like I want my evenings to, sometimes I just want them to relax. But also I spend a lot of my evenings working on one of the shows that I'm running. You'd be surprised at how many hours I spend just sitting here writing. I spent all last night prepping the next 2 episodes of non-canon, because it's just an astonishing amount of work for 2 episodes, but needs to be done. That's non-canon. I have a whole fucking setting that I'm building right now for the next show that I'm running, which is just like, and it's one of those ones that comes with like a brutal pre-prep, and you'll see why when it begins. But it's going to be a little bit more sandboxy, right? Rather than my classic approach of here is the main story and adventure, go from A to Z. It's got a bit more of a, it's an open world MMO, kind of. So I have to make the whole world, and it is killing me. It is killing me. And I've only got a couple of months left to fucking finish it, and I'm just like, I'm so tired. It's nuts how tired I am. And I think some of it is I had to polish off Cura. Towards the end of Cura, I started prepping this new campaign. Just light structural prepping, like nothing heavy. And then I had to run non-canon. And originally, I don't think I was going to be running it. I didn't think I was going to be running it for this long. Like, that wasn't the original plan. But again, we're scheduling so many things on Table Story. It's very hard for 3 people to both run 2 channels and be a human being, you know. There's just not enough. We don't have enough time, money, resources, hands to, like, there basically isn't enough time in a week for me, Whack, and PB to do day job streams and run Table Story both as a company and as multiple GM showrunners. Like, which is why non-canon, like, a lot of the time you'll hear us say something like this money is the only thing keeping this afloat. You know, like those non-canon shows, the people that tip on those Friday shows are quite literally keeping that channel alive. Like you know, like when you're watching those shows and someone is like manually beating someone's heart inside their chest during open heart surgery. That is every week of non-canon at the moment. And because we're just fucking, it is so much work. And so I finished Cura and I'm down to just running non-canon at the moment, and I'm still exhausted. Because I'm having to write. ChatGPT at all. I can get ChatGPT to help with some stuff, but it's not good as being an actual creation device. It's not good at anything like that. ChatGPT isn't good at art. It is good at filler. And sort of, if you have an idea but don't really know how to put it into words, you can ask ChatGPT to do it, and then it will give you a good structure as a sort of jumping off point. I wish I could just slam everything I had planned into ChatGPT for this next show. And like, I will sometimes rely on ChatGPT. I'm very open about how ChatGPT is my second DM. I think it's very useful as a second DM at the table. A DM, people who only ever play in games, being a DM is really hard sometimes. You really are you're like, if you're a player, you just show up, play for the amount of hours as your one character that can do what they can do on one piece of paper. And as a DM, you're like trying to be an entire world. You're trying to watch your players, keep an eye on what they're doing. You're like having to invent things. You're having to improv. You're writing stuff down. You're changing narratives, and you're doing all this stuff. And really, sometimes it's really, really fucking hard to do. And when you have something like ChatGPT that you can just be like, answer this question for that player, and I'll answer this question for this player, and then that question comes back, and you just go, yeah, it's blah blah blah. It's useful for that. But if you actually break down the answers that ChatGPT gives you, it gives you a lot of the same answers and the same ideas and the same stuff. Really, it provides you with pretty much the same stuff every time. You can reword questions, but it will provide you with the same kind of stuff every time you ask it. And you can usually see where it's from as well. You'll be like, oh, that's from Dragonlance. You just took that from that's literally the name of the king in Dragonlance. You know, something like that as an example. And so it's very hard at original creation. And then when you're trying to produce stuff that is as original as you can make it, you really can only rely on it to give you springboard ideas. Or like fill out some information that you know will never come up, but just in case. Sometimes I do that with it. I'm like, no one's ever going to ask about this field. But in case they do, I can just ask ChatGPT to write something about it. And so sometimes I will put something like that into my world building or whatever. And then if I do need to look at it, most of the time when I'm GMing and someone asks me about like an obscure place in the world, for example, I will pull up my notes. I'll scroll down to like, right, they want to know about Ipswichville in the Eastern Groundlands. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I haven't written anything down for that. I don't know. Why are you asking me about Ipswichville in the Eastern Groundlands? What the fuck? Fuck's sake. And then I go into my notes and I scroll down to wherever I've written whatever basic information. Because on a map somewhere I've put Ipswichville. You know? I'm like, I don't know what's there. And I scroll down to Ipswichville land. And I find Ipswichville land, location, Eastern Groundlands. And it will just say a field. But usually, if I'm smart and I think ahead of time, it will say something like a field that has blue flowers with a particularly magical property said to help with many diseases. This is the only place these flowers bloom. And like, that is all I've written. And it's all I need. Because then at that point, so the player's like, what is it at this bit of the world, DM, please? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Why are you asking me? And then I find my notes and I'm like, yeah, so this, there's a kingdom here, Ipswichville Land Shireton. It's pretty much exclusively just a giant field with these very interesting blue flowers that they sort of look a bit like a blue lily flower. And if you take those flowers, and there are several small villages around this field that are able to take these flowers, ground them down, and then use a particular approach to alchemy to use this as a restorative that seems to work with several different diseases around the world. And this is the only place where they bloom. And that's it. So you just take something, you've got one line, but you give it a bit more rigidity and a bit more logic and flesh it out. And that's what I do a lot of the time when I'm DMing and someone asks something about a very obscure place that's far away. And I only have like a little line written down. And sometimes I will chat GPT that. So I'll be like, give me a piece of information about this world with one random unique element. And chat GPT will be like, it's a green field with a blue flower. And I'm like, that'll do, fine. If that makes sense. It's quite good for that. And when you're trying to just like spam an entire world out for, maybe you have only got a small amount of time to build something like a setting or whatever, I think it's very useful for that. I think it's also very useful if you're literally in the middle of a session and you just want to pull up answers about something. You can use it as that kind of a resource. Again, it's like an external hard drive for your brain. It's like a little droid GM. That's what I see in my head. I have a little... It's teaser. I have a little droid GM that I can be like... The important thing is that for me is like the show on Table Story, my players having a good time and making sure that we're like constantly progressing in some way that feels we're not just like sitting around doing nothing and there's like something interesting happening, or there's something to roleplay about, or there's a puzzle in front of them, or there's an adventure, or there's progression. And I'm a fan when it comes to the shows of like pacing and things. So I'm like trying to think of all that stuff. And sometimes if you just have to stop and create something, I kind of hate when I'm watching a D&D show and they're like, and the dragon appears and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I do this and I do that. And we're going to go over here. And I say to the dragon this. And they're like, the dragon says, fuck you, man. And then everything stops because the GM has to like look something up, or the GM has to kind of make something up on the spot. If it stops for if it stops for longer than about 3 seconds, I want to kill myself. I hate dead air. I can't stand just nothing happening. If I really need to just like figure something out, I will put something immediately for them to do. I will be like, a blue bouncy ball bounces into the room and rolls across the floor towards you. The rogue's foot, it hits the rogue's foot and, nothing happens, but you're looking down at it and it looks like a blue rubbery ball. What do you do? And then I go, and I'm like planning the whole thing. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be a field of blue flowers, and they're going to be over here, and it's going to be, and that's going to be, I'm going to have to make sure that this is kind of like this, and that's going to be, huh? Yeah, make a perception check. I've no idea what they just said. We have to make sure that there's going to be several major routes that come through this fucking field, and it's very important that you make sure that, of course, and they're also extremely racist towards kobolds. Huh? 17? Yeah, it's what was the question? So you just want to know if, so it's kind of got it's blue and rubber and spherical. It's a bouncy ball. Make me an Arcana check. And so we're going to have to make sure that there's going to be a secret teleportation circle, and the teleportation circle is hidden in the basement of the thing. Huh? 4? You have no idea if it's magical. That's what's happening in my brain. If you watch me DMing, a lot of the time I go off the screen. But if I'm on the screen and I just look like I'm not paying attention, I'm probably not, but I am. There's a bit of my brain that is listening at all times to what they're doing. The best thing that can happen is they start role-playing amongst themselves, and I've been very lucky. All of my players are like streamers or actors or something, so I can pretty much always just be like, make an insight check on each other. And I know that I will if I just do that, I can leave them for about an hour and a half. You're like, you got a 6, so you know he's lying. You don't know that she said anything. And he is not a turtle. He is a fish in a mechanical suit, which was a player in my first ever campaign that I played in. And we found out that he was just a fish piloting a giant mechanical suit in a fish bowl. And then you can just shut up. And then I'm off the fucking screen, man. I bounce. And I'm like, fuck, I need to make sure there's going to be some fey creatures that show up and they have to be fucking, oh Christ, they're going to be 6'7". Every single one of them is weirdly 6'7", exactly. And you'll see me very quickly like scrabbling for information. Most of the time, I'm usually very good at predicting. I think I'm quite good at predicting like where players will go. I'm quite good at illusion of choice as well. I think every DM gets good at providing players with illusions of choice. So even if, so you kind of know, you generally know which way, especially this is the way I build campaigns and it's not how I'm building the next one. So watch everything I'm saying now go out the window for this next campaign. I'm very specifically building a campaign that goes counter to how I naturally roll or play it and run a game. So the next table story show that I'm running is not going to have a lot of these rules in place because I want to stretch that part of my GMing skill set. I think I've fallen onto quite a lot of my natural strengths over the years, which I enjoy doing because I think it's a better experience overall. But I think has let some of my other muscles atrophy a little bit. And so I'm trying to retrain some more basic D&D muscles as a GM for myself in this next show. So it's going to be a shit show. And I think there will be a lot more time where I actually am going, I don't know, let me look this up, let me figure this out, because I'm just not, you know, I think there's going to be a lot more of the situations that happen with a GM that I'm not a fan, because I feel like a failure, but actually is hilarious and I need to let go of. It's a control issue in my own brain of like, when they're just like, what is that character's name? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not planning for you to walk into this fucking person's house. You just walked into a random person's house. You think I prepped this person's house? Yeah, you go in there and there is a cat with a human face. Why did I say that? And they go, what the fuck? I go, yep, it's a cat with a human face. Roll me a nature check. Okay, so there's a cat with a human face. His name is going to be fucking Leonard Skinnerd. And he is actually a human that was polymorphed. And during the polymorph spell, it was counterspelled, but not fully. So he would already changed a little bit. So now he's trapped as a fucking cat. His body is a cat, but his head remains the same. And they go, okay, and I go, yeah, you've never seen anything like this, but he does seem to be just a normal human cat. What do? He looks at you with wide eyes and fear. His face looks like Winston Churchill, but his cat body is orange tabby cat. Does that exist? Don't know. Does now. D&D. And they go, hi, sorry, we just walked into this house. Do you live here? Are you okay? What's your name? And the cat goes, I'm Leonard Skinnerd, bitch. This is my house. What are you doing in here? That, any DMs know that pain? Where you're like, they're off script completely. I don't know where they're going. I've got nothing prepared for this entire half of the town that they're in. And they're just talking to everyone. And you just have to be like, yeah, that's fucking James. What does James do? James is covered in oil. He works on an oil rig. And they go, oh shit. An oil rig? I thought we were in the middle of the entire kingdom and it's landlocked. Yeah. Weird. You want to talk to him? Yeah, hey James. What? You look like you work on an oil rig, but you're in the middle of the town. In the middle of a landlocked in Germany. There's no water anywhere. What's that all about? And he goes, yeah, because I'm making him up off the fucking top of my head. Oh, it's the craziest thing. I was working on an oil rig offshore in Scotland and this mist came in, right? And we got like fucking cut off from all communications. We couldn't fucking escape. We had no way of getting out of there. And for 2 years I was trapped in this oil rig and there was this weird fucking like creature that was basically like a parasite, but it was just like particulates and it was infecting people and shit. And then the mist went away at one point And in that small period of time where we got communications back, I managed to contact a wizard friend of mine, ported me out, got me here, and then you walked up. And that is the plot of The Rig on Amazon Prime that I started watching the other day. And because I started watching it now, James is from the plot of The Rig because I had to make it up off the top of my head. And that's why I need to stretch that muscle as a GM. I've actually been stretching it a lot. This stretches it because I don't have anything prepared for this. Oracle's Rest stretches it, and non-canon has stretched it as well, because the way I prep non-canon is kind of crazy. But those were like soft. There was just a little. That was my warm up for the big campaign coming. Leonard Skinner is the bad guy for sure. Yeah.
For years, I have been trapped in the body of a cat. Finally, you have stepped over the threshold into my house. Did you not see the arcane words written on the outside of the building? You fools! I am Leonard Skinner. I am the most powerful being in this world.
And roll initiative. You know what I mean? And they go, what? And I go, yeah, fucking roll initiative. Do it slowly because I need to make a stat block for Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner, cat, 1 HP, 8 in everything except for Dex, which has 10, has 1 HP. All right. Leonard Skinner is going on 6. So he's going to go last in the initiative. Who's first? You, the rogue? Okay, here we go. You fire an arrow, sneak attack. Yeah, you get sneak attack. You fire the arrow. It does 72 damage plus sneak attack. So in total, 104 damage. He had 1 HP. You fucking obliterated him. It is absolutely horrific. You just pin this cat man to the back wall. He's dead. You feel good about yourself? And then I leave him alone again. What do you do? What do you do? You leave him alone for another hour. That's my next campaign. It's going to be the story of Leonard Skinner, the cat man. Should we play some D&D? You can watch me do it in real time.
No, Brad, we don't wanna.
Well, we have to, because I once again forgot that I have to leave soon.
Corruption starts to spread when democracy is dead. As oppression reaches pressure points, guess who goes ahead? Just leave a note away to vote as justice shall arrive. Their both are true, their hair is blue, it's time to roll and die. Marching forth with weapon drawn, set the world alight. A goblin friend, a paladin, ready for the fight. No evil line, no demon kind, no tricks or shrewdery. Rice, Larry, Rice, it's time to claim your victory. Fight, fight, fight till the fight is won. Run, run, run if it can't be done. Hide, hide, hide till we're out of their sight. Rice, Larry, Rice, let's roll the dice. Win, 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 Larry, save us all. Spin, spin, spin on the magic wall. Roll, roll, roll till you know your call. Rice, Larry, Rice, let's roll the dice. Go, 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 let your legend be born. Flow, flow, flow with magic adorned. Soar, 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 always ready for more. Rice, Larry, Rice, let's roll the dice. Never surrender, never give in. Larry, step ahead and let your arrows sing. Lift your head, embrace the dawn, ready to rise. Rice, Larry, Rice, let's roll the dice.
That's right, it's time for D&D. Now, the first thing we have to do is a little bit of upkeep from last week, because you have some XP. You get 100 XP because you defeated the hag. So you're at 1,773 XP. Congratulations. Give yourselves a little pat on the back. You defeated, if you recall last week, you defeated Dale the hag by helping Sister Floral recover her her items and her spell scroll from the tavern. They cured all of your curses in exchange for helping them, and that's it. That's all you did, right? Did you do anything else? I don't think so. Nayanar, thank you so much for the sub. Let's carry on, I guess. So you are in the Crossroads Tavern as another morning. Did I charge you for the next night? I think I did. Another morning dawns. Have I ever run XP leveling? Yeah, of course I have. It's just much easier to not do for D&D shows. The next campaign's the XP. With a twist. It was close, Brennis. It was close. You could have timed that a little better, Brennis. I'll let you off because it's money. Thanks for the 66-month resub, my friend. Yeah, the next campaign I'm running is XP with a twist. With a little lime zest to it. And again, yeah, you are playing the character of Lyri, who is a soldier, Aasimar, fighter at level 3, with 2 companions, Snotflap and Lancelot. Predominantly an archer-based class. We have simplified some of the rules, so in terms of spellcasting, everyone in the world uses scrolls. It is sort of D&D, but it's D&D limited to within the structure of the rules of this world and this setting. So you've come to this area known outside of Badgerbrook. There is you've been exploring the world map. The world map. There is the town of Badgerbrook, which is where the main quest is. That's where the MSQ symbol sits. I should get that MSQ symbol and put it above this, shouldn't I? What is it called? FF14 MSQ symbol PNG. You reckon I can just download it and drag it in? That'd be hilarious. There it is. Got it. Save. The odds that this just works are going to be very low, but if it does work, that's fucking hilarious. I'm doing it just for Chicklet in the hopes that Chicklet gives me money. It's going to be enormous. Jesus Christ. The main story quest is in Badgerbrook. However, you decided to explore the area outside of Badgerbrook. There are all of these quest locations, side quest locations, of which you have done Wildflower, Stone Circle, Natural Spring, Monument, Tower. You are now at the Crossroads. There is the Offering Tree, the Whispering Winds, the Crystal Cavern, and the Fallen Star, which also exist here. So at the moment, you are in the Crossroads Tavern. And sort of just doing the things in here. You wake up. We'll say that you have another bit of brekkie with the boys. Sister Floral's moved on. She left after giving you the... you got like one last item from them. The Quiver of Elona. A magical quiver that holds an unlimited number of arrows, bolts, or javelins. So you now have unlimited, infinite arrows. Arrows. Infinity. Can't write infinity in there. Okay, so... the silver-tipped ones don't count. They have to be... they're not arrows. They're silver-tipped arrows. Insta-Reg, thanks for the 67. Shadow, thank you for the resub. In the tavern here, We'll say that you have a breakfast and you set yourselves up for the day. Snotflap bouncing around like he does. Lancelot being polite and well-mannered. Thank you, Kumagi. Obviously, every sub goes towards a wheel spin. We spin the wheel, random effects will happen. But, yeah, I mean, you look around the room. There is several patrons in here. You recognize a couple of them from the previous nights. There's a halfling, a dwarf, there is a druid, there's a fisherman, there is a half orc, and there are the sort of the people that work and serve at the tavern. Lyndall Tanglefoot, the gnome who runs the bar. There's a half orc bouncer that sits in the doorway, and a halfling who's moving between tables, just delivering breakfasts and stuff, a sort of server. There are several games that seem to be playable in here with little prizes. It's like a medieval arcade, you know what I mean? Where there is like axe throwing and some other stuff. I can't remember. I need to open the page where I had all of that. You did a bounty from the bounty board. Barrel balancing, ring toss, a trivia game, giant's finger, flaming shot, dwarven knuckle bones, catch the mug are all available as well. So, as is always the case, we'll start the session by asking, what does Lyri do to start the day? What's the plan for the day here? The options are sort of talk to patrons of the tavern, play a mini game, and then some other suggestions. Tom Bacon's like, spin the wheel, it says you should spin the wheel, because he's fucking addicted to Wheel of Fortune. Fine, I'll spin the wheel. A magical item will appear. Roll me a d20, chat. Let's see which magical item you get. I can take the first number. I still have not added a reset option. I don't know how it works. It doesn't make sense to me because it doesn't know when to reset it, you know. I guess I'd have to do a separate thing that is like exclamation point reset, but I can't. A 7. You have the spell wind blows, and you receive a lantern of revealing. You already have one of these? No. Oh, you got the magic lamp. Oh, that's my own Twitch channel. A lantern of revealing. A lantern that reveals invisible creatures and objects. I don't know why I'm putting it in there. Within its bright light, 30 feet. Thank you, Chicklet, for the subs. Feemore, Digital Dan, Durkee. Appreciate it. You have earned yourselves a lantern of revealing. There is rub magical lamp as an option. What else? Any other options in the chat? Let's see. What did you have? There are no new bounties. There's leave tavern. Leave tavern. Talk to fishermen. That's under talk to patrons. That exists already under talk to patrons. Inquire the barkeep about a good merchant outside Badgerbrook. Any other options? This is your game. You tell me what you want to do. You tell me what you want to do. Horace, thank you so much for the sub, my friend. My boy. My son. Alright, I guess that'll do. Alright, what do you want to do? Talk to the patrons, and then we'll do a separate vote for the patrons. Play a mini game. We'll do a separate vote for the mini games. Rub the magical lamp. Leave the tavern and continue exploring the world. Inquire the barkeep about a good merchant outside of Badger Brook. I can have a go at adding your role reset if you send me your code. Well, Liam did it, so I don't really know the code. I'd have to look at it. I could pull it up, but you know, the stream's going. The stream is going. And as soon as the stream ends, my brain will die. I have to cook a thing tonight as well. I now have 2 things to do this evening that I wasn't planning on doing this evening. This is always a nice place to be, I think. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say, guys? What would you like to do? Do the arrows from the quiver decompose after leaving the quiver for a long time, or can we just sell them infinitely? A good question. A good question for another time, I think, because it's completely irrelevant right now, isn't it? Can you say it was completely irrelevant right now? What do you think? You tell me. You tell me, do you think that that's completely irrelevant right now? Or not? What do you think? Do you think there's more important things that we could be discussing and preparing for? Such as the fact that you're about to rub the lamp? And I need to prep that? What do you think? Guys? The real question is, why didn't this work when I clicked this button? Plan is to rub the magical lamp. Now, I guess before we do this, I'm going to give you the option to see what you'd like to prepare. You currently have the potion of temporary hit points, the cloak of the hunter. Cloak of the hunter provides you with expertise on stealth and perception. You have the mantle of spell resistance, which gives you advantage against spells, and you have the scroll power word pain equipped as well. Would you like to change any of these items? Re-equip? Yes. Change some? No. Keep items as they are. I guess we'll ask this first before you interact with What level are you guys? What's the maximum level I can make you fight? Level 3. It's an awkward position to be in. We could do this. I'm going to do this. Oh, hell yeah, boy. Keeping the items. Okay. Lyri pulls from their bag the magic lamp and pushes it to the center of the table. This is a very simple looking lamp. Golden, but molded in such a way that it is crafted perfectly. It looks very simple. Lyri says, "We got this, look." They take the lid off of the lamp and look inside, and there's nothing in there, and replace the lid. Snotflap says,
You gotta rub it. You gotta rub the lamp. That's what you gotta do.
Lancelot says, I've heard about something like this before and it didn't go well. I think we should approach this with caution. Lyri kind of looks over the lamp. I have one question for you. How many times do you rub the lamp? 1 times. 2 times. 3 times. How many times do you rub the lamp? Tell me now, or forever hold your peace. While I procedurally generate the entire campaign live before your eyes. Now, my next D&D campaign won't be this painful. Because this is true generation. This is truly doing the entire prep. In the moment, because I will literally prep an entire tavern with stuff in it for you to do, and you will do a completely different thing, which is hilarious. This would not even be allowed in my normal D&D games. Well, this is when I would be like, roleplay amongst yourselves. They don't know this is why I'm doing it, but this would be the time when they would be role-playing amongst themselves. Little do they know. Little do they know. 3 times you have chosen to rub the lamp. Very well. Very well, so be it. Very well, then so be it. So be it upon your heads for making the combat 3 times harder for yourselves. Thank you, Will, for that sub. Do you want to do 2 more subs before we rub the lamp, or would you like to attempt rub lamp? Or would you like to go in raw? Would you like to go in raw? Shadow says,
Please. Me scared.
the first rub of the lamp, nothing happens. The second rub of the lamp, nothing happens. And as the third rub of the lamp begins, the scroll on Lyri's hip begins to vibrate. Let's see. Are we keeping power word pain? Or are we taking Nystol's magic aura? I don't know what that is. Nystol's magic aura. Nystol. Second level illusion. You place an illusion on a creature or object you touch so that divination spells reveal false information about it. The target can be a willing creature or an object that isn't being carried or worn by another creature. When you cast the spell, choose one or both of the following effects. The effect lasts for the duration. False aura. You can change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects such as detect magic. Or you can change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects that detect creature types. Okay, and you would have 8 casts of this. Nystol's magic aura is the option. Scroll. Keep power word pain. Power word pain provides a lot of pain for a creature with under 100 HP. Take Nystol's magic aura spell. These are your options. Keep power word pain. Okay. The plan is to keep power word pain. I guess the question I would ask now is, what happens when you rub the lamp? You rub the lamp, and all 3 characters are transported into the lamp. Immediately, sitting at the table, the 3 of them are pulled into the lamp. The lamp shaking a few times on the table, and everyone in the tavern continuing on with whatever they were doing. As the 3 of them suddenly appear, there is a huge creature in front of them. Sort of red skin, black wings, and a coned masked looking face that runs down over what looks like a demonic being. A huge being that is floating in the air. Practically just a giant demon. Muscular, horns, claws, flying in front of the three characters. It says, I'm gonna need you to roll some initiative as you fight Diablos, an optional boss. Lyri and Snotflap and Lancelot in this combat. We take the second roll. Lyri has a +3 to the initiative. Let's see. Can you defeat Diablos? Let me roll for Snotflap and Lancelot. Now, normally you would not have access to both companions, but for this combat, you're gonna need them. Snotflap going on a 13. That's Lyri, not Lancelot. Lancelot going on a 15. And Lyri going on a 5. Diablos, you have to roll manually for everything, has a +1, goes on an 18. Get in! You're gonna get absolutely fucking slaughtered, and you deserve to be, for this hubris that you bring to my Sunday stream. Top of the round. Diablos flies into the sky, the huge wings lifting up around it, and then slams itself downwards. The ripple and effect creating a strange gravitational distortion as it flies down to the ground. Just before it hits this kind of strange dark ground, there is a just basically darkness around you with strange swirls of magical purple. You're kind of just lost inside a liminal darkness in this lamp space. Diablos, before hitting the ground, creates a sort of huge gravitational pulse. This crushing gravity will strike out at all of the characters here. I need a strength saving throw from you, Lyri. You have a +3 to this. We're also going to make one for Snotflap. Strength save. He has a -8. No, -1. He rolls a 9. That's a fail. Lancelot rolls a 16. That's a make. A huge gravitational crushing force just strikes all three of the characters. What does Lyri roll for your strength saving throw? Keep going. No one in here today. We have to take the first roll every time. An 18. That's a make. 4d6 force damage. 17 force damage. Snotflap takes. Snotflap down to 5 HP.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Trying so desperately to like teleport away, but is stuck. crushed under the gravitational pull. Lancelot and Leary will both take half of that damage, which is 8 as we round down. Putting Leary on 15 HP, Lancelot on 22 HP. And each creature is pulled 5 feet towards Diabolos. Diabolos flies back up into the air, huge demonic wings spreading open. The creature in front of you is astonishingly powerful. Lancelot says, "This isn't good." Leary says, "Well, it never is." Lancelot, what will Lancelot do here? Arendite, Compelled Jewel, Divine Smite. I think he has to smite it, doesn't he? Rushing forward, pulling out that very large, long sword and swinging it low, bringing it up towards this creature. Lancelot has no heals. Oh wait, he does. He has the Rod of Resurrection. Lancelot can use this rod to heal, which expends 1 charge. Or cast Resurrection, which expends 2. The rod gains 1 expended charge daily at dawn. If the rod is reduced to 0 charges, roll a d20. On 1, the rod disappears in a burst of radiance. You want to burn heal now? You're on 22. I think I can do. Apparently no, I can't. Apparently no, I can't at all. So that's going to have to be what it is. Never mind. I thought I had an extended version of this song. You want to burn a heal? Yes or no in the chat? Anonymous, thank you for the gift subs. Heal is very powerful. It heals like 70 HP. No. Okay. Lancelot's going to make an attack with Arendite. A 12. What is the AC of this creature? Striking some of the sort of black carapace of this demonic creature. Arendite strikes it, leaving sparks running along some of the scales of Diabolos. This does no damage. Snotflap's turn. Snotflap is prone. Let's see. I'm just seeing it can do some weird shit. Oh yeah, he can. As a reaction, Diabolos... No, he's not going to do that. Never mind. Snotflap gets up, throws his dagger at this thing. Oh, natural 20 from Snotflap. Dealing... Oh, I need to write his fucking HP somewhere. Okay. So he deals 10 piercing damage to Diabolos and then ports in next to him because there's a free action. He can retrieve it and the target makes a dexterity saving throw. Oh, this is a saving throw, so it's +3. 14. And has to beat a 13, so Diabolos makes it. It will not be disoriented. And then Snotflap will use Misty Step to port away from this creature, I say. Pretty much as far away as he can get. Makes sense. for Snotflap right now because he is fucked up. His nose is bleeding. His arm is hanging limp. He throws this dagger, launches it at the creature, deals 10 damage. The dagger just sticks into this enormous form. There is black ichor blood that runs out of Diablos as it looks down. Snotflap appears next to the dagger as he always does, grabs it, and then warps out again. It is now Illyri's turn. And we ask, what does Illyri do? Now, of course, the options. The options. Do I not? Where are my options? Standard options are attack melee, which is a rapier. Attack ranged, which is a longbow. You can run away. You can use scroll. Power word pain. You can use the dodge action. If you equip your rapier right now, your shield goes up. If you equip your longbow, the shield is off, which will affect your thing. You can do the potion of temporary HP, and then any other suggestions from the chat. You can use draw. You can draw, cast Demi. You can piss self. Any other options? Rub the lamp again. The lamp is on a different plane of existence, just sort of rolling around every now and then on the center of a table. The waitress moves past it, completely ignoring it. No concept whatsoever that this thing is even there. I don't think. I don't know what is going on with this music. So let me just pull up the Illyri boss battle theme for ourselves. Is it this one? You got to spin. Ask the enemy to kindly stop being mean. All right, there you go. Now, let's spin the wheel. Another encounter. You're welcome. This encounter just got harder. And you can blame Dirky Dirk. Use scroll. Power word pain. Okay. Illyri pulling out the scroll. Speaking the arcane words of power word pain. How many casts do you have left? 3? No, 2. You used it last week, didn't you? Speak a word of power. If the target has 100 hit points or fewer, it is subjected to crippling pain. While the target is affected by crippling pain, any speed it has can be no higher than 10 feet. The target also has disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws other than con saves. Finally, if the target tries to cast a spell, it must first succeed on a con save. There is a moment where Lyri is speaking these words. Snotflap ports away from this thing, and Lyri successfully manages to cast Power Word Pain. You did have a long rest, yes. Why? Is there something else missing on here? You got the action surge back. Is that what it was? You saw that action surge? Power Word Pain is successful. It takes hold. The creature is affected by Power Word Pain. The huge being begins grabbing at itself, swiping at itself as it comes under the effect of the spell. You use another use of Power Word Pain, one left. So it now has a speed of 10 feet. Disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws, other than con saves. And if it tries to cast a spell, it must make a con save first. At the end of its turn, the pain ends. It can make a con save to try and break free of it. Okay. Alright. Lyri has used... I guess, do you want to use an action surge? We can just type yes or no in the chat room to get an extra action or not. As you are doing this, I think Diablos, now in an extreme amount of pain, says, and several imps. Well, you know what? One imp. One imp appears. Next to Snotflap. Yes, you would like to use the action surge.
And here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
No, this is the button I meant to press. Action surge. Okay, what does Lyri do? You have another action, so you can use another. You can attack with a melee weapon. You can attack with a longbow. You've already cast Power Word Pain, so you don't need to do that. Oh, that says dodge. Potion of temporary HP. Use draw cast demi, piss self, ask the enemy to kindly stop being mean. Anything else? Any other options in there you may use? The imp is going on a 23 initiative. Pull out the beads of force. Unequip. Well, I guess you'd have to unequip a different thing. Equip beads of force. You're not engaged with it, so you don't need to disengage. Throw a heal pot at Snotflap. Plan is to attack with a longbow. Okay, make me an attack roll. D20. Exclamation point roll D20 in the chat room. And Lyri with a longbow has a +8 to this shot. We'll take the second roll. An 18. Damn. 26. The arrow flies true, sticking into Diablos' chest. Let's see how much damage it does. 13 piercing damage. More pain. A crippling spell with power word pain, followed by an arrow to the center of the chest, dealing 13 damage to Diablos. Move. Oh yes, you also have some other bullshit, that's right. What do you have again? Slow. If you hit a creature with a longbow and deal damage to the creature, you can reduce its speed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. If the creature is hit more than once, it doesn't. So it is. Its speed is reduced to 0. Move back. Stay where you are. Yes, no. In the chat room. Yes to move back. No. Don't move back. Rushing backwards, pulling out a longbow, firing this thing, and dealing a chunk of damage. It is now the Imp's turn. Appearing next to Snotflap. Oh shit, what the fuck is that? The Imp. A small, tiny version of Diablos appears next to Snotflap and will try and sting Snotflap. With an 18, it's gonna hit and deal 7 piercing damage, which is enough to knock Snotflap out. And make a con save. Doesn't matter, he's out. He is KO. Snotflap goes like this. As the sting of this imp whips at Snotflap, the imp then takes flight, dashing through the air towards Lyri. Can make it. It appears next to Lyri. Snotflap KO'd right now. It is Diablos' turn. First of all, let's roll to see if he gets his slam move back. He does, but is that what he wants to do here? What's the radius on that? No, probably not. And what does Power Word Stun, Power Word Pain do to him? He can't move. He has disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. So he is best off probably not using that move. I guess he'll use... Yeah, fuck it. It's time for the slam again. Flies up into the air. The huge sensation of gravity shifting as even Lyri, a little further away from the effects of this slam, is kind of subjected to a shifting gravity. However, Lancelot has to steel himself as he flies back down, and as he does so, it just shifts and moves the gravity in the room. A crushing sensation of gravity around this beast as it flies down towards the ground. Before it strikes the ground, it stops suddenly, but a force, a sort of concussive wave of force, follows this creature, causing Lancelot to have to do a strength saving throw. Lyri doesn't need to make one, she's far enough away. 21 from Lancelot, so he will only take half of this damage. 16, so another 8 damage. He's down to 14 as this huge, insane sensation of force crushing Lancelot. He grits his teeth and steels himself, taking as strong of a stance as he can, maybe turning his sword over and digging it into the strange sort of black void that is the ground here. And he is not pulled closer because he is already close enough. Okay, now Diablos can make a con save to try and break free of the power word pain. This is a +4. 22.
I am free of your spell.
Diablos says, breaking the power word pain with a successful Constitution saving throw. It brings us to Lancelot's turn. Lancelot glances over at Snotflap and back to Lyri. I guess I'll put it to a vote. Why do I keep taking that one today? Use a charge of heal on Snotflap. Yes, no. Reminder, you only have 2 charges in this thing. If you use both charges, the rod will break permanently, will shatter. You have 2 charges, heal costs you 1. And there's a resurrection in it too. Heal will cause a creature to regain 70 hit points. It also ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases. It will cure Snotflap's chlamydia. Yes, you would like to use one of the charges of heal, pulling the rod from his back, aiming it towards Snotflap. There is a huge surge of energy. It runs down Lancelot's arm, this golden white light rushing down his arm and into the rod. There is a, you get the sense that this is an overwhelmingly powerful artifact, as even Lancelot struggles to hold it stationary as it charges up this energy. And then out of the end of this rod, a beam of golden energy strikes Snotflap and heals him for 70 hit points. Now, Snotflap only has a maximum of 22. He did have 4 temporary hit points, I'm now seeing, but he would have lost those either way, so it doesn't change anything. So he goes up to 22 again, suddenly coming to consciousness for just laying on this strange darkness.
I dreamt I was crossing over, Lyri. I dreamt I was going to Goblin Hell. You can't let me go to Goblin Hell. I'm gonna change my ways. I promise, Goblin God. I'm gonna change my ways from this day forward. But first, I'm gonna kill this bitch that killed me. Where's that little shit? I'm gonna eat it. There it is.
Snotflap sights up the Why are you not saving? Sights up the imp. It's the end of Lancelot's turn, so it's Snotflap's turn. Snotflap is going to throw his dagger at the imp. Ooh, on a 12. What's the imp's AC? 13. The imp turns around, flying through the air towards Lyri. Hearing Snotflap suddenly start shouting, the little warp dagger flies past the imp as it kind of does like a barrel roll. It just narrowly misses the imp, landing kind of in the distance beyond Lyri. Snotflap says,
Oh shit! Shit, hey, Lyri, throw it back to me. Can you throw me it back?
I think he has to hit to be able to warp to it, right? The best he can do is warp. Yeah, he has to go and find it. So let me throw a dagger down on the Ahi's dagger. So it probably landed over here. He can only go 30 feet with Misty Step. He doesn't want to be next to the imp, so he's going to end up there. As he says,
Oh, forget it, I'll get it myself.
and ports 30 feet away from himself. Actually, he has movement, so he could run the rest of it, recollect the dagger, and he says,
Okay, you leave that little shit to me. I'm gonna get it next time, and I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat it down, and I'm gonna turn into a brand new creature. I'm gonna become something more powerful than you've ever seen, Lyri.
Lyri's turn. We ask again. We ask now again. What does Lyri do? So, you have used up your action surge. You have a second wind, which don't let me forget you have. Let's see. Now, the standard options, of course, attack with a rapier, which you're not going to do at this point, so let's just stick to the longbow. You can use the last use of power word pain. You can dodge. You can take the potion of temporary hit points. You can draw, cast Demi. You can eat the imp before Snotflap can. Anything else you want to do? Equip beads of force. I can't think of anything else that you can do. I have a crippling headache today. I seem to be getting afflicted with headaches all week, which I'm enjoying so much. I just love it. So it's all on you. All right, well, this is it then. Away you go. What would you like to do? You're going to burn another power word pain on this creature, which... Alright. That's what you want to do. Pulling the scroll out. Speaking the words, the arcane glyphs lighting up on the page. And the creature once again afflicted with arcane pain. The words dissipate on the page. You no longer have a spell loaded in your spell scroll as you once again inflict power word pain on Diablos. Would you like to use your bonus action to cast Second Wind? Second Wind will give you a D10 plus 3 healing. You are at 15 of 23 HP. The choice is yours. Yes or no in the chat room. And if it looks split, we'll bring it to a real vote. Heal a little bit. Yes, 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 yes. No. Yes, 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 yes. Healing for 1d10 plus 3. You regain full HP. 23 hit points as you re-heal to full HP, doing the Neo thing. And re-strengthening oneself. It is the Imp's turn. The Imp is going to attempt to sting Lyri with its stinger on a natural 20, dealing a ridiculous amount of damage. So this is a con save from you as Lyri. Go. Make me a Constitution saving throw. You have +4 to this, and you have to beat an 11. So you're at least going to take 13 piercing damage regardless. And then... oh no, it's 7 plus 3. Hold on. So it's 10 piercing damage. And potentially 19 poison damage, which you can half with a successful con save. If you don't make this con save, you're going to fall unconscious. We take the second roll. Do we have a wheel spin? Did I miss one? Shadow? Did you roll a natural 1? Kumagi? No, I didn't miss one. Okay, cool. Kumagi, how do you feel about rolling that natural 1? How do you feel about it? You feel good about that? Finishing reading the scroll. As Lyri reholsters it, suddenly there is a... Looking down, under the rib, there is the tail of this creature sticking into the flesh of Lyri. The creature curled over one shoulder, biting into the flesh of Lyri's neck. From both the stinger and the bite, poison, black veins of poison spread across Lyri's skin. Lyri sort of turns one way, kind of glances at Lancelot, and then the eyes roll up into the back of their head, falling to the ground, unconscious. The best unconscious sound in a Final Fantasy game? Anyone know what it is? That's right, it's Final Fantasy Tactics. You can hear it in the intro to Non-Canon. If you want a little factoid. The Imp finishes its turn. It is a Diabolos's turn. Let's see if Diabolos can recharge its bullshit. 2, it cannot. Which means it needs to make some disadvantaged attacks now. Let's see. 2 attacks it can make towards Lancelot. +5 to hit. A huge claw comes rushing down on a 15. Lancelot's HP AC is 18. Missing. Lancelot ducking underneath the huge claw. The second attack, a 12, will also be a miss. Affected by the pain, Thank God for that pain, otherwise that would have been 2 hits. Well, maybe not. Would have been at least 1 hit. Both missing Lancelot, but the creature does get to make a Constitution saving throw to try and break free of the pain. I think because you cast this with a scroll, we're going to say it. Is Power Word Pain even concentration anyway? No. So it is still up. 21 makes it, drops the pain. The spell dissipating off of Diablos.
At last, I am free.
You are unconscious. It is Lancelot's turn. Now, Lancelot can use the second charge of the rod to cast heal. He can strike and potentially smite with 2d8 additional radiant damage Diablos, or he can use compelled duel, which means he forces a creature within range to duel him. It's sort of already dueling him. I'm going to give you the option, since it's a magic item that you earned. Lancelot, attack, use second heal on Lyri. This will break the magic item permanently. The choice. It only breaks if we roll a 1 on a d20. I don't know where you pulled that from. It has 2 charges. If you use both of them, it will be broken forever. If you don't use it, it will recharge itself tomorrow at dawn. Both charges. Debiru and Anonymous say, we would like a wheel spin, please. They scream, wheel spin, wheel spin. Okay. You would like to use the second heal. All right. Fine. Magic curling around his arm. The rod of resurrection drawing more of that holy energy into itself and casting this second heal towards Lyri. Healing Lyri for 23. That's your max HP, right? Yes. And the rod in his hand, as it fires this beam of healing energy, striking Lyri, healing the wounds, reducing the disease and poison, shatters, breaking like glass in his hands. As the Rod of Resurrection is destroyed. An insane choice from the chat room. Because that could provide you 1 70 HP healing every day for the rest of the campaign. Or a resurrection if Lyri had full death at some point. You could use it to cast resurrection if you had 2 charges. Instead, you've used it to heal 23 HP and 22 HP. Madness. I just want to state the part of me that is a mechanics man, that is a very small part of me, horrified at what you've done. It did say we need to roll if it depletes. Oh, did it? What did it say? I don't believe you. And we get a spin. I already deleted it. Wait, where was it? Maybe I have it written down. Rod of Resurrection. On a 1, the rod disappears in a burst of radiance. Oh. I thought I nerfed it, though. I just nerfed the amount of charges. Okay. All right, roll a d20 then. Don't roll a 1. I'm gonna spin the wheel. And you get a wish. You guys are so jammy. You guys are so jammy. All right, what did I do here? Can I undo it? No. Rod of Resurrection. Heal. 1 charge. This will be easier for me to just glance at. 2 charges. Heal 1 charge. Resurrection. 2 charges. The rod regains 1 charge daily at dawn. If the rod is reduced to 0 charges, roll a d20. On a 1, the rod disappears in a burst of radiance, which now goes up to a 2. Every time. Two charges, and it has 0 of 2. That's better. That's better. Alright, what wish do you want? This is a wish. Wish granted. What do you want to happen? Diablos has 1 HP left. Lyri is immune to all curses. We get a ham and cheese sandwich with a pack of quavers. Wish them dead and us free. Lyri gains a master ball and throws it at Diablos. Unoriginal. Arenzo Kukin. I wish to get a wish from Diablos. Charges return to staff. We get Diablos as a GF. Now that's a guardian force, not a girlfriend. Diablos becomes a companion. God damn it. This is why it's so hard to copy these, by the way. Alright, there you go. Diablos has 1 HP left. Lyri is immune to all curses. We get a ham and cheese sandwich. Wish them dead and us free. Lyri gains a master ball and throws it at Diablos. Renzo Kuken. I wish to get a wish from Diablos. Charges return to staff. We get Diablos as a GF, or Diablos becomes a companion. The choice is yours. Thank you so much for the subs today. I appreciate it. This is a clutch roll. Who was this? Debiru and Anonymous? Hippopotamus? Hippopotamus? Hipponymous. The GF is a monkey's paw. You're out of your mind. Mine. One of you is an anime character comes running in. No! Don't understand. The wishes, the more powerful they are, the higher the chance that they'll be a monkey's paw. We've been doing this for half a year. Longer. Have you learned nothing?
Silence! Silence! The greed! The greed!
Everyone in chat's eyes all turn green at the same time, except for Lolly. No! No!
Ah.
We get Diablos as a GF. Lancelot casts... Just to rewind time a little bit, Lancelot casts the healing spell from the rod. It dulls, the color of the rod dulls as all of the charges are expended. A small crack runs up the side of the golden rod for a moment as Lyri is brought to life again, and Diablos says,
Very well. You have proven yourselves worthy of my power. You may summon me when you need.
all three characters are ported back to the Crossroads Tavern, appearing suddenly in their chairs again, rocking back on two legs. Can I get you anything? The halfling server appears next to you. Lyri, kind of like barely recovered from being struck by the imp. Snotflap, also not sort of sure what the hell is happening.
What the hell was that?
Lancelot is kind of battered. He's all battered and bruised, bleeding from a couple of wounds. His body, his armor looks a little dented in places from the gravitational effects. Yes, what on earth was that? Did it say it was going to grant us a piece of its power? Lyri takes the lamp cautiously, sliding it back across the table towards themselves, holding it up and looking it over. It appears to have gone dormant. However, holding the lamp for a second, Lyri understands as their hand begins to glow black and red briefly. Shocked and sort of expecting it to drag them back in, Lyri drops the lamp, which kind of harmlessly rolls across the table, and you understand now that you have the ability to summon Diabolos. Now let's look at some summon mechanics, and we're going to create that right now. Summoning GFs, which is a guardian force, not a girlfriend, from the hit video game Final Fantasy. Summoning Diabolos once per long rest. As an action, the wielder of the summoning artifact, the lamp, can summon Diabolos. When summoned, he appears in a flash of dark energy, hovering ominously over the battlefield for a brief moment before unleashing his signature ability. Diabolos acts immediately upon being summoned and then vanishes back into his own realm.
Right.
When summoned, Diabolos casts Demi Strike, a powerful gravity-based effect that reduces the HP of all enemy creatures in the area. All enemy creatures within a 60-foot radius of the point Diabolos is summoned must succeed on a con saving throw. 8 plus Lyri's proficiency bonus plus their spellcasting ability modifier, which for Lyri, let's figure out what it is. Spellcasting ability for Lyri would probably be Charisma. So 5. So 13, DC 13. On a failed save, each creature's current hit points are reduced by 25%. Which I'm going to have so much fun calculating every time. On a successful save, the creature's hit points are reduced by 10% instead. This reduction cannot lower a creature below 1 hit point. Demi-Strike has no effect on creatures that are immune to necrotic damage or have fewer than 50 hit points remaining. That's not true. I lied. That was ChatGPT making stuff up. It can definitely work on creatures that have less than 50 HP. What it doesn't work on is a creature with legendary resistances has no effect on creatures with legendary resistances. Flat. So, all enemy creatures within 60-foot radius, and I'm going to put this onto the thing in a second. I'm just writing it properly for the first time. Okay, let me pop it in here then as a handout. So this is Diablos Summon. Once per long rest. Diablos Summon. Once per long rest. As an action, the wielder of the summoning artifact can summon Diablos. When summoned, he appears in a flash of dark energy, hovering ominously over the battlefield for a brief moment before unleashing his signature ability. By the way, this is absolutely perfect because it will take me so long to calculate 25% or 10% that it's essentially the same as if you were to summon a creature in Final Fantasy and you have to sit through its little video that plays. So is this worth doing against just one goblin? No, it's not. The wielder of the summoning artifact can summon Diablos. When summoned, he appears in a flash of dark energy. All enemy creatures within a 60-foot radius of Diablos must succeed on a con saving throw. On a failed save, each creature's current hit points are reduced by 25%. The reduction cannot lower a creature by below 1 hit point. Demi-Strike has no effect on creatures that are immune to necrotic damage. Demi-Strike has no effect on creatures with legendary resistances. This is cool. I once tried to create a summoner class for D&D. I say tried. I started and didn't finish. It's slightly different than when you try, right? But I don't understand why there isn't one, you know? I don't understand why there isn't one. I scream. Okay, cool. Summoning. How close are we to dying? Not very close at all. Lancelot's injured. Lyri was at full HP. You no longer have a scroll, but you do have a summon. Perhaps there are other summons out there to collect. Pull up the entire Final Fantasy VIII Diablos summon video and play that. Do you know what's hilarious? I'm gonna do that. Can we get that? YouTube. Diablos summon. How long is it? It's 40 seconds. What happened? And then he vanishes. I mean, that is hilarious. I'm gonna put it on the. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna grab that. Because that's fucking hilarious, guys. Now, if I use this website, is it going to download some weird fucking thing? I think yes, if I click this button. Thank God. Save video. Diablos summon. Save. And in theory, if I just do... If I just do this, it's honestly so funny, dude. I don't. It's this kind of shit is hilarious to me. You wait till you find Knights of the Round. How long is Knights of the Round? Where did I save it? God, I hate my life. How is it possible? I just downloaded it and don't know where I saved it at all. How is this possible? I have no idea where it is. They're like, hey, why don't you just do this in the week? Because I will forget. Oh, is it a weird video format? I bet it is. Cool.